Hey, my friend, this is Nestor Nidome, and I just heard this pretty cool concept, and it states basically that it's costing you more money to be poor than it is to be rich. I mean, when I heard it, I kind of was like, what? What's going on there? But then when you start thinking about it, it actually starts to make sense. And I want you to think about it. It's costing you more money right now to stay broke or to stay poor than it is to become rich. Okay, and let's just put a little perspective into this. For instance, let's say your car, when you buy a car, or when you buy a house, or when you buy all these things, you're gonna spend a lot of money, right? You're gonna spend $15,000 for a car, or 10,000, or 20,000, and then you're gonna have like a couple of $100 a month of a payment, or if you have a house, even more. Yet, today there is so many opportunity out there. And let's say, for instance, you put that money and you buy that car, you buy that house, and what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna put up the money, and then you're gonna have to be putting some, as a down payment, and then you're gonna have to be putting up some monthly payments. And what is that doing to you? It's actually draining your pocket, because you're gonna have to go to work, put in all those hours, and for what? So you can stay basically broke, right? And the problem is that more money you spend, the more broke you are, right? But that's why they call it the rat race, because you're stuck. You're stuck in the rat race. You're stuck going to work and coming to home, then going to work and paying those bills, and then but the more you want to have, the more stuck you are, because then the more payments you are. But yet, there are a lot of people who think that that's smart. When you talk to people, they're not afraid to go buy that car. They're not afraid to go to a store, an electronic store, and buy those big screen TVs. They're not afraid to do all that stuff. They're not afraid to purchase cable on a monthly basis. You talk to most people. I mean, I've talked to most people, and it's incredible. I mean, I talk to a lot of people sometimes who are like totally complaining that they're broke, complaining that they don't have money, complaining they don't have $25 a month or something, complaining but then yet you ask, like, hey, do you have cable? It's like, yeah, I got cable. You don't got cable. How can you live without cable? That, and it's like, how much is your cable? It's like, oh, it's $150 a month. It's like, what? I mean, what? It's going right, but yet they're complaining to invest in themselves and in their future, $25 or $150 or something, but yet it's not hard for them to buy cable or something, or they have a cell phone and they're spending all this money on a cell phone that they're only using basically to not make money, right? So that's you gotta think about it. Those things, all those things are great, they're awesome, but at the same time, if they're keeping you broke, is that a good idea to have? Right? So now you take, for instance, a home-based business. I'm not gonna go into the traditional business, because you do need a lot of money when you come to a traditional business, like me when I bought the restaurant. You need a lot of money, but have found that in a home-based business, you don't need a lot of money. And then let's take, for instance, most home-based businesses that cost around like $5,000. At the most, about $5,000. It's not a lot of money. It might seem like a lot of money, but how many times have most people have purchased something for $5,000, and not even think about it, right? And then there's they just didn't do anything with it. And then part of the $5,000, you're having like about $150 maybe or so of a monthly payment, you know, and again, that cable's costing you $100 or $150, right? So when you have a business, that's home based business. That's basically what's going on. So now let's go back to that statement. It's costing you more to stay broke, to stay poor, than it is to become rich, right? And it is, because you just start adding up all those bills you have. Start adding it up instead, and then start adding up all the money that you have actually put as a down payment, as or as a full-time payment to buy something. I mean, add all that money up, and then check your situation. I mean, I don't know, maybe you're wealthy right now, I don't know, but if you're not, I mean, just check it out. Just check it out, right? I mean, add all that stuff up. How much are you paying in monthly payments, and how much money have you actually put out, right? I mean, just think about it. All that money, and and most likely most people are still broke. All these people are putting that stuff. Now, if you would have used that money to build your home-based business or something, then you probably most likely would have been wealthy already, you know. So it does make sense once you start thinking about it, that it is costing you more money to stay broke because you're paying all that money, right? When, you know, in a home-based business, you know, you can pay that stuff, work hard for a while, you know, because it's not gonna be a, you're not gonna get into a home-based business and all of a sudden, you know, you're gonna be rich. You know, it's not gonna happen like that. Okay, I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna happen like that. It's gonna take some time. You have to learn. It's a curve, you know, learning curve, and you have to put a lot of emphasis into it. But it's worth it. It's way worth it than having to work all your life, and then at the end of your life, you know, you're barely having money to retire, or you don't have any money to retire, because statistically most retirees are either dead or still working, or depending on some sort of government or family help. I mean, most of them, you know, it's only 1 out of 100 are basically rich. You know, 5 out of 100 are living comfortable, and the rest are either dead, working, or having some sort of family or government support. And you know, so it's only 6 people. You know, 6 out of 100 people are actually in a great situation, and I can bet a lot of money that those 6 people probably had some sort of business or some, or worked really hard. Okay, they weren't just, you know, they work smart too, not hard actually, but smart. Okay, and that's what a business takes. It takes, you know, a lot of smart, you know, and you don't gotta be no book smart, you know. It's not that type of smart. It's a smart of learning. It's a smart that you actually can learn and become that, you know. And like in any business, if you think about a home-based business and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna start a home-based business, and I'm gonna dedicate myself, you know, a whole year at least, you know, a whole year, you know, and you dedicate yourself, you know, good, you know, a couple hours. It doesn't even take that long. A couple hours every day, and in a year, you'll be in a different situation that you are in right now, you know. And it only would, you know, most likely it would only cost maybe about, like, you know, a couple of $100 to maybe $5,000 or something like that, and it'll probably be, you know, about $150 or something a month. It's not even that much. All right, guys. So take that into consideration. Make sure that you know, you're thinking about this stuff. You know, I do truly want to help. That's my intention. Is I want to help people realize that they have choices. Realize, you know, I want to help you realize that you have a choice. You know, that you have options. You know, that you don't have to stay broke. You know, you can actually decide to get out of that situation. You know, you got to decide. But you know, that's the word, is you got to decide. You know, and but once you decide, that's when the action, when the, you know, results are going to start coming, you know, based on the action that you take. All right, my friend. Well, I truly would love to hear what your comments are on this. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. You know, either way, it will be awesome to hear from you and see those comments and see if what I want to know what you're thinking. All right, guys. But with that, I hope that I have brought value to your life, and if not, then sorry. But if I, you know, my intention is to bring value. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.